Welcome to the first A-LeagueUK rundown as we look back over the round of action in the Isuzu Ute A-League men's competition. My name is Craig Thompson and the format for these rundowns is pretty simple. I get up sometimes at an ungodly hour of a weekend to watch the A-League, my favourite competition in world football, and I make some notes which I then share here on YouTube. For several years now, we've done written articles on www.A-LeagueUK. This season, we're trying something new out here as a podcast on YouTube. It should be fairly short, to the point, and not take all day for you to listen to, which I think is a positive. We begin in the city of Churches in the season opener, as we get the rundown underway. And I talked about Craig Goodwin in the season and round one preview here on YouTube. No surprise that the Socceroo had such a big hand in Adelaide's victory over Sydney FC. He drew an early save from Devonish Mears before his corner allowed Ryan Kitto, a veteran for the Reds, to stoop and head in the first goal. It was actually some brilliant work on the edge of the area by Johnny Yule, blocking off Ocon Engstler to give Kitto so much time and space. Do look back at the highlight of that goal because you'll see the Sydney FC man immediately protesting to the referee. Ethan Alagic scored the second just after the hour with a finish at the near post. And Sydney did come back in the game through Joe Lolly, still the big name for the Sky Blues. But it was too little too late. Ufuk Talai really already looks on shaky ground. Friday's second game was in Brisbane, where the Raw earned a valuable 3 points against MacArthur. Have to say, Chris Economides looked dangerous, which is good to see, but it was a well-worked set-piece routine from a deep free kick on the Brisbane right that saw Luke Bratton handle the ball and give away a penalty. He argued the toss, but his arm was up. Stonewall. Penalty for me. Jay O'Shea dispatched a spot kick to Philip Curto's top right corner. O'Shea, the set-piece specialist, has been for many years. Late on, Val Canis was shown a red card. He picked up a second yellow on 57 minutes for chopping Harry Sawyer down. Took an early shower. MacArthur had chances to draw level, but Brisbane held on with 10 men for the last half hour. In a game covered by our 5 conclusions column on A-League.co.uk, Western Sydney Wanderers made a good start in their game against defending champions Melbourne City. Costa Barbarouches opened the scoring with a really good run off the back of the Sydney defence onto a through ball, but Max Caputo equalised 2 minutes later when red and black right back Aidan Simmons was far too deep and played him onside. It was a really good game, 2 teams that will do very well this season. Momentum swung between the two, and I have a sneaking suspicion that both managers will be fairly content that there's something to build on. A rare goalless draw in the A-League was the result between Melbourne Victory and reigning premiers Auckland FC. Again, another game where both teams had their chances, especially from set pieces, with quality deliveries coming on top of the 2 goalkeepers, Jack Duncan and Michael Vowd. These 2 teams are really adjusting to their new squads. Both have lost key players, and they'll be using the early rounds to settle their new signings in. Strangely, it is most likely the players that were there from last season who will be the most important. The likes of Francis de Vries for the Port, Jordi Valadon for the Big V, they'll keep things ticking over, while the likes of Javier Stella and Sam Cosgrove settle in. Interesting to see Victory go back to Jack Duncan, though, isn't it? Saturday's third game took place in Perth, the Glory taking on Wellington Phoenix in the distance derby. And as good old JR would say, business picked up, certainly as far as goals were concerned. Just 15 minutes in, Jayden Kaczarski opened the scoring with a hard and low first-time finish. Then Adam Taggart proved why, even to our relatively untrained eye, we can see that he's going to be the most crucial player for the Glory again this season, if not in the entire competition. Having bagged an assist for the opener, he then had 2 bites of the cherry inside the penalty area, establishing a 2-goal lead for the hosts. Osler headed on goal. Sam Sutton barely kept the ball on the goal line just before the break, and that seemed to wake Wellington up out of their slumber. Ifania Eze reduced the arrears as he beat Brian Kaltak to the ball, went round the veteran defender to scoop home. Wellington squared the ledger through Carlo Armiento on debut, a Desmond in round 1, and you always like to see that. That left Sunday's F3 derby and the game of the round between Central Coast Mariners and Newcastle Jets. Alex Badalato, fresh from the Under-20 World Cup, with a stunner from outside the box before Max Burgess clipped Brantman and McCalmont scored the resulting penalty to even the odds. By half-time, the Gosford side had recovered the lead through striker Miguel Di Piazzo after some poor play from Lackey Bayliss to lose the ball facing his own goal. Substitute Lackey Rose, as he often did last season, made an impact, and the Jets equalised after Eli Adams fought for the ball in the Mariners' box. And then came the drama. Christian Theoharis gave away a penalty for a foul on Aquilina. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He was never going to get anywhere near the ball, and Aquilina was favourite to basically take the contact, and down he went. Andrew Redmayne, the penalty specialist, now the Teal Wiggle, made a superb penalty stop from Eli Adam down low to his left. Rose then missed the follow-up. Redmayne's goal kick was flicked on by Nicolas Duarte, and the Jets' defence could only knock the ball twice up in the air, failing to clear their lines before Duarte ran through beyond Delialov to win the game for the Mariners. Gosford sent into raptures, and a real let-off for Theoharis, let's not forget. Next up in round 2, we have Friday football from the McDonald Jones Stadium as the Jets host Melbourne Victory, both sides looking for their first 3-point haul of the season. It doesn't get any easier for Alan Stadgic and Western Sydney Wanderers. They visit Auckland on Saturday. Look out for our preview. That'll come on Thursday evening, just before we get underway on Friday with round 2. Thank you for your time. I'll see you next time.